and welcome to Sim Street. It's nice to see you again. And if you're new here, I post all sorts of cozy Sims 4 content, such as creative Sims, gameplay, and more. I hope you enjoy, and let's get into today's video. Today's video, I'm doing something a little bit different than my normal video. I'm going to do a tutorial type video where I show you guys how I like to build. I've received a few comments before about my build style and how it looks realistic and just that you guys like it, and I really appreciate your guys' comments because it means so much to me, and they really did inspire me to make this video so that I can show you guys how I build, and maybe it'll give you guys some tips and tricks so that you can build realistically. So for the purpose of this video, I chose this base game lot here in Willow Creek, and I just want to share that I do have overrides that make my game look more realistic and more aesthetically pleasing. I will link those mods and overrides in the description so you can see how they enhance my game. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, so the first thing that I'm gonna do is actually have a household just so I can test everything, because when I'm building realistically, I like to put so much clutter around the house, and it's really nice to have a test sim. So this is actually a little spoiler. I'm not going to share her name or anything because she will be a sim that I'm going to be playing with in the future. But once you have a sim to play with, you're going to go ahead and click Ctrl+Shift+C on your keyboard, and it brings up this text box at the top left of your screen, and you're going to want to type in testing cheats space on and then click enter. And as you can see, it says cheats are enabled. So once the cheats are enabled, you're going to want to type in bb.moveObjectsOn and press enter once again. And this will allow for us to have complete freedom over where we place our objects. There are also plenty of mods that override the game to already have these cheats, or there is the tool mod where you don't have to worry about putting in these cheats if you don't want to, but if you don't want any extra mods, you can just type them in as I just showed you. But now that we're done with that, we can click Ctrl+Shift+C again on our keyboard to get the box to go away. So once our cheat codes are in, we're going to go ahead and click build mode. And the first thing I do once in build mode is press the G letter on the keyboard, and as you can see, that toggled off the grid so that it's just easier to see what it's actually going to look like when you're in live mode. So once again, I'll show what it looks like normally, and then when you type G, it goes away. So for this video, I'm just going to be showing the interior of the build and how I make it cluttered and cute. So we're just going to go ahead and head into the inside, and the first thing I'm going to do is get some lights in the room. So there are plenty of ways to find lights. You could click objects by room or objects by function. Objects by room is kind of my go-to, and I go to the dining room and click these hanging lights. And my go-to is just to use the super subtle saucer light that is base game, because it's just a small light that makes it really bright, and you can always add different lights as you're going, but this is just how I see everything really nicely when I'm building. Alright, so the next thing I like to do is actually just delete all of the walls, because I usually don't really like the layouts that come with these houses, or most of the time I'm building my own house anyways, so that always helps as well to make your own floor plan or layout. And then I'm just going to go ahead and take this wood and put it all over the house so that I can have a clean slate. And then I'm going to click the walls and empty rooms category and use this wall tool to go ahead and make a floor plan that I like. Alright, so this is the floor plan that I have kind of created. So I personally like to just find a very basic wall color. So I'm just going to hover over the wall and left click and press shift at the same time, and it covers the whole wall. And I'm just gonna repeatedly do this until all of the walls are the same. Alright, now that that step is done, we're going to find doors and frames. I also forgot to mention that a cheat that I personally like to use, because I usually like to have really cute homes to live in, even though it's not realistic to start off with super aesthetic homes. You can go ahead and click Ctrl+Shift+C once again on the keyboard, and if your testing cheats are on, you can go ahead and type in money and then any amount you want. So for example, if I just want 500,000 simoleons, you'll type in 500,000 and enter, and there you go. You can see at the bottom that I have 500,000 simoleons. Alright, as you can see, I have now added all of the doorways and arches for the house, so the structure is definitely coming together. And I'm going to recommend some CC creators throughout this video, just because custom content definitely enhances the way your game looks if you are wanting to download some. So in build mode for doors, arches, and windows, I really recommend the creator Charlie Pancake's Maple and S Constructions collection. Is really nice and one of my favorites to use. And another tip that I have is to choose your doorways to fit with the wall height. So when we click on the walls, you can see that I am in the medium wall height. So I look for doors specifically that work for the medium wall height, because it just kind of makes everything flow and look a little bit better. Obviously, this doesn't have to go for all cases. This is just one of the tips that I usually use. And another tip I have is, if you're using doors and windows, to go ahead and find a collection of doors and windows that match each other. So like I said, I really like the Maple and S Construction collection by Charlie Pancakes. So I went ahead and searched up Maple and S, and sure enough, all of the collection popped up here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just find stuff that matches the doors I'm already using. So instead of this door, I'm gonna replace it with this open one, because I really like realistic things, and sometimes it is realistic to have doors that are open. And although the doors and windows match the exterior, I'm gonna go ahead and change them to something a bit more my style. This door right here fits, and I actually kind of like these windows, so I'm just gonna stick with them. And as you can see, you don't always have to change things to match, but it is helpful sometimes to make it more cohesive. And I think I might change these archways as well. And this is just me showing you that it takes a lot of messing around and trying to figure out what looks best. So don't be afraid if it's taking too long. Definitely take your time, and it's fun to always mess around with the swatches and just see what looks best. For now, I'll go ahead and stick with the white, because I actually don't use white that often. Usually I go with wood, and it kind of looks cute on the exterior. And like I said, having cohesiveness to your builds does really help in the long run. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and add some more lights and move them around so I can see better. And I forgot to mention that something I really like to do is add very small rooms for closets. So there's a lot of different ways that you can make closets, but I am going to use this door. And like I said, you can really take this into your own style. Like if you prefer to not use any custom content, that is definitely okay. There's so many creative ways that you can make closets and make your game look cute without custom content. I just personally like custom content, so I'm just gonna show how I normally do it. But I feel like this is just a really nice way to add some realism to your game, because if you think about it, most houses in the real world have a ton of different ways to add storage to your house. So if that's closets or pantries, whatever it may be, I like to add them in most of my houses. Alright, so now that that is all set up, I'm going to go ahead and change the flooring. So Praline Sims is one of my favorite creators when it comes to flooring. They have really realistic looking woods and tiles. And as for carpets, I really like the base game ones, but I use the K-Hippie mods to override them into looking more realistic. And like I said earlier, that will be linked in the description. And then I'm gonna go ahead and click tiles for the bathroom and kitchen area. And I don't really have a specific creator that I like for tiles. I kind of just use whatever that I think looks best. Since this is supposed to be a starter home, I'm not gonna use anything super nice. I'm just gonna use these tiles right here. And as you can see, all of these tiles are square, and sometimes it's annoying and not be able to make different shapes. So to do that, you can click Control F on the keyboard, and there you go. You can make it diagonal, and it's just much nicer to be able to kind of create different types of spaces. So this is the little kitchen area that I came up with, and I'm gonna go ahead and click fences, and I'm going to find a certain fence that is very small, and I specifically like this one from Get to Work, or there is this custom content fence. I'm just gonna use this Get to Work one and find a white swatch because, or maybe like a cream swatch, because it goes with this flooring. And there you go, it looks like a trim, which is very common to have in houses when you go from one flooring to the next. And yeah, as you can see, it just makes it look much more realistic. I know that usually door frames have trim with them, but unfortunately it doesn't really work, as you can see. So I really just like to use that for when I'm going from one flooring to the next. And then this is where I usually try to decide if I want to use any other wallpapers. So I'm gonna go ahead and click wall patterns once again and just see if I come across any that I want to use. Alright, so I found a tile that I wanted to use for the kitchen area, and I'll probably use this in the bathroom as well, but maybe we'll do a different color like this blue, or yeah, we'll go ahead and do this blue color. There we go. And something else that I like to add is the columns. You can add these on the inside of the homes to kind of separate rooms. And this isn't something that I always do, but I do find that adding little details like this can definitely make it look more realistic. So I'm not really finding any right now that I really like, so I'm probably going to skip that. But that means that we can start decorating now, and this is the fun part where you can kind of go crazy. So I'm just going to start one room at a time, and I'm going to start with this little entryway or foyer, whatever you would like to call it. So usually entryways have like some sort of nice hanging light, so I'm going to try and look for something that's kind of simple but also nice. Alright, this little light by a winged llama is super cute, so I think I'll use that. And it kind of is making me feel like this is like a cottage type of home, and I kind of want to change up the tiling now. So like I said, this is a great example of building and decorating is very much a trial and error. You have to just kind of go with the flow. Alright, so I have fixed the kitchen to where I like it now, so now we can go ahead and continue decorating the foyer area. So pretty much throughout the whole house, once it's time to decorate, I really just think of things that I would want in my own house and things that would make it feel lived in. So I'm going to find a mat or a rug, something like this, just very like neutral. And I also love adding little things like leaves or like shoe prints just to make it feel extra realistic. And another tip that I have is when you're clicking on an object, when you're left clicking and holding, you can click Alt on your keyboard and move things in any direction, and this is super helpful. So next I'm definitely going to find some sort of curtain for this window. I feel like that is pretty cute, but I'm not exactly sure that's what I want to go for. This is definitely really cute. I feel like these windows also need to be raised. That definitely looks much better. I think I'll go with this one. We're definitely sticking with the green theme, and I feel like a mirror of some sort would look really great right here. This little mirror is so cute, and I could definitely see just having like little envelopes and stuff. That is so cute. If you haven't already watched it, I would definitely recommend that you watch my video where I show off my favorite creators for build and buy mode, because I show a lot of the items that I use on a basis and my favorite creators, so that would definitely be useful for a video like this if you want to follow along on my tips. I also think this would be super cute. It's kind of like a spring vibe right now. Alright, so I found this mirror and I think it looks really cute, and I did move the window over a little bit, so don't be scared to move around the windows because sometimes it is necessary. But now I'm going to add a little table because I think it is nice to have a small place to set your stuff down, and I like this one because it has like an open drawer and you can put like shoes down here or something. I feel like that would be super cute. I don't really know if that's the right one though. This one's pretty cute as well. I do like that a lot. We might have to go with that one. But also, oh, something like this could be cute. I forgot we have this whole space over here, but I don't think that is what I want to go for. So another idea is we could do a tall mirror right here. Yeah, I'm not really sure that I would want to put a table over here. So most of them are too large. This one does fit pretty well actually. Not sure. Okay, I found this mirror that is really cute, and then we can put like a little plant next to it, so I might do that. Alright everyone, I went ahead and just finished up. So basically I'm just going to tell you what I did. I added a bunch of clutter. Like I said, I love using clutter. and I feel like it is very important when decorating if you want to make it look realistic, because it makes it look more lived in. And as you can see, adding little details like this wall item, which I'm pretty sure comes with Vampire Pack or one of the packs, basically adding it behind furniture as if they use the furniture to cover it up or something, that always adds more realism. And of course, adding garbage, because sometimes it's easy to just leave stuff around the house like a pop can. So something else that I really love adding around my homes to make them feel more realistic are light switches and outlets. So for example, we have this one that just looks super realistic to the light switches that I'm familiar with, or of course we have these kinds. There's a lot of great varieties that you can download out there, but I basically just put them next to the doors, and I like to do this in all of the rooms, and I try to remember to put them next to closets as well. I know there is this base game one, so this is one that anyone can use. And I like to do the same thing with outlets, so I put them all over all of the rooms like that. I'm going to walk through the decoration process of one more room just so you guys can see how I make it look cluttered and everything. So I'm gonna move this window over here because I do want to add a fireplace. This is going to be like the living room area, so I'm just going to find a fireplace that I like. Alright, I think I'm gonna go with this one by Leo Sims, and I found this cute little basket as well, so I'm gonna add that because of course we need wood for our fireplace. And then here are some fireplace tools that I'm just going to place down as well. And I love adding shelves wherever I can because you can add so much clutter to them. So I found those, and I'm going to add curtains over here. So I love these curtain rods, and I love that these curtains have a sheer curtain behind them because that is so realistic. And then I'm just gonna put this one over here because that is also realistic to have it like slightly open. And I'll probably just pick a neutral color, but yeah, there we go. I did showcase this item on the video that I was talking about earlier. Alright, now I'm gonna pick a TV to put up here. I know not everyone has their TV mounted, so I'm going to use the 9 key to raise the TV, and there we go. I think that looks pretty good, but is it too tall for my Sims? That is always the question. I think that looks pretty good. I feel like a lot of people usually have a gaming system or like Apple TV or something that goes with their TV, so I like to usually find one of those. I think I'm going to add this little Wii because I don't know, I just feel like it's so cute. And I'm gonna move the TV back a little further. I feel like right there makes it look a little better so nothing is colliding, because that's obviously not realistic. And then I feel like a nice plant would look really good on the mantle, or maybe this. That's pretty cute as well. I don't know, just finding clutter for the mantle, basically anything works. I feel like this plant works pretty well. Maybe I should move it up though. Okay, I feel like that looks pretty good. It's not like too cluttered or anything, so I'm liking that. Okay, so now for the shelves, I'm just finding a bunch of random decor. Okay, so I basically just found a bunch of random stuff to put on the shelf. You can really capture your Sims personality by putting stuff that they need or like on the shelf. So it really doesn't matter what order you do this in, but usually I find a couch and then a rug that goes with it. I think I'm sticking to kind of like a spring color scheme, and I think that's important too, to kind of find a color scheme, even if it's a bunch of colors. Just having a color scheme really helps bring cohesiveness to the build. Alright everyone, so this is the finished look of the family room, and as you can see I just add a lot of clutter once again, and I really just pick random stuff honestly, but I imagine the sim to be pretty creative, so I added a lot of art supplies, and it doesn't have to be overly cluttered, but this is just an example of what it can look like. And I really think experimenting with different wallpapers and colors can help as well. Like, just if I were to add this wallpaper, for example, it really brings a lot of personality into the build. This is kind of a difficult video to show you guys exactly what I do because every build and sim is different, but I just wanted to show a few of the tips and tricks that I know and use myself when building, and hopefully this helps you guys a little bit. And with all of that being said, I really appreciate all of you guys, and thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you all next time. Bye guys!